#1 radio, reaching stars. The sound of Lagos.
This is Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
When your whole world comes crashing down, is look up. Assemble the team.
It's showtime.
The brains waking up.
What'd you have for breakfast?
We are the sound of Lagos, and this is Mainland 98.3 FM, Lagos.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, on Twitter at Mainland FM. We are the sound of
fantastic conversations.
Great to see you again. It's good weather. You want to agree with that?
Yeah, I love weather. Trending music.
I live the life that I love. I love the life that I live. Tomorrow.
Traffic updates.
Ojoba and Charity intersections is good. There's no cause for alarm.
Sports. And everything fun is right here on Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch that dial.
Hello there, your #1 sports show on radio, Sports Cruise, from 6 to 7 p.m. every weekday, only on 98.3 Mainland FM. Sports Cruise, 6 p.m. weekdays on 98.3 Mainland FM. The cruise never stops.
Give me freedom, give me fire, give me reason, take me higher. Celebration.
Sport Cruise, 6 p.m. weekdays on 98.3 Mainland FM. The cruise never stops.
Hello, my name is Godwin Enoch and I'm a broadcast journalist. Yes, my friend will tell me that I am a sport administrator by accident. Listen every day of the weekday to Sports Cruise on Mainland FM. God bless you.
The first semi of this Nations League finals week pits the host Germany against Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal. Germany's attack is led by the much in-demand Florian Wirtz, while the 40-year-old superstar starts in Munich.
There's space here for Pavlovic. Oh, he's got it back.
Following up, Walter Mane is denied.
Looking for the angle. From Kimmich. Wirtz!
The opening goal for Germany! It's brilliant! It's absolutely sparkling! Francisco Conceição has put them back on level terms against the Germans here.
Nice touch from Bruno Fernandes again.
Nuno Mendes for Cristiano Ronaldo! They keep writing him off. They keep saying he's too old. Cristiano Ronaldo keeps scoring the goals.
Adeyemi.
Angle was tight, but he hits the post. Helped out by Jota. Conceição. That is a miraculous double save. And that will prove to be the final action of the night.
It finishes Germany 1,
Portugal 2.
Hush not, child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. Just move on up toward your desk.
All right. right, Lagos, a 40-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo took Portugal to the UEFA Nations League final, and they would also be deciding or playing against the winners of either France or Spain later tonight. In tennis as well, of course, we got a confirmation that Sabalenka saw out or took out Iga Swiatek as well. To also, weight or lying weights ahead of the winners between Coco Gauff as well as home girl Alois Boyson. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Sports Cruise live from 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. We're talking about a lot of things on the show. Yes, the Falconet of Nigeria have been drawn in Group D ahead of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup that will be taking center stage as well in Morocco later this year. Apart from that as well, Liam Delap has officially been confirmed as a new signing for Chelsea, and then he has been handed the number 9 jersey. Well, a lot of people talk about the fact that in recent years, the signings, or should I say the strikers that have been bought by Chelsea, been given the number 9 jersey. Take a look at the likes of Romelu Lukaku, take a look at the likes of Aubameyang as well. There's also Gonzalo Higuaín as well, who followed Mauricio Sarri from Napoli. Fernando Torres, I remember that signing not going the way Chelsea fans would have also wanted that. And talking about changing of jerseys as well, Cole Palmer is set to don the number 10 jersey as well for Chelsea, and this is also ahead of the 2025-2026 season. But at the beginning of the FIFA Club World Cup, they will be making that change. And then when it comes to transfers, Barcelona tried as much as possible or are trying to poach Luis Diaz from Liverpool, but Liverpool are saying no. They are holding out for their star winger, and then let's just see if any of that would also be concluded. And Manchester United's opening bid for Bryan Mbeumo has now been officially rejected. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Sports Cruise live from the 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. My name is Adetomo Banjoluasegun, otherwise known as Agwata, and of course you know as well that a superstar man, so just like I always call him, Okoyemi is live in the studio and is at the other side of the table today. He made a prediction yesterday that Portugal were going to win Germany yesterday, as well as Nuno Mendes giving an assist or giving maybe the greatest of all time, the assist as well, that particular fixture, and that was exactly what happened. It seems like he's getting back into his mojo. Isn't it, Okoyemi? I think you're getting back into the mojo. Good evening to you as well.
When you have it, you have it. There's no
form is temporary.
See, class is permanent. I've lost form in my predictions lately. I think the last prediction I got correct had to be the Arsenal versus Real Madrid over both legs. I said Arsenal was going to knock out Madrid over both legs. Yeah. I think I also talked about Inter Milan knocking out Barcelona. Also. I think, but I'm not sure. Yeah. But I know that I've lost form a bit with those predictions. And by the way, I don't play bet. I don't have any issue against it whatsoever.
Exactly.
As long as you are 18 and then you are betting responsibly, and then you are not using monies that you cannot afford to lose. You are not using your school fees or your house rent or your investment. Is to your tent or is
investment?
Yeah, I mean investment exactly. But I don't have a problem with it. But I just have to quickly put that because I've had a lot of people send messages to my DM when I was still on Facebook and everybody book these games. I don't do that. I just feel. You look at games and it was pretty easy for you to almost predict where the pendulum of the game was going to swing. Portugal were defending champions.
No, they're not defending champions. Spain
are the defending champions,
but they won the first edition.
The inaugural edition was won by Portugal. So I think they also want to get back to that level. And again, in the last 25 years, Portugal have not defeated Germany. And so it was a statement,
win
match yesterday. And then you look at the form of Nuno Mendes, and I think one of his favorite players to ever give assist had to be Cristiano Ronaldo. When Ronaldo scored his 900 career goal, it was Nuno Mendes that gave him the assist. And when it was 9-10, it was Nuno Mendes that also gave him the assist. And when he scored his 131st goal for Portugal, it was Nuno Mendes that gave him the assist. So you can almost
seems to have struck a bond.
And Nuno Mendes is in a good form of his life. Fresh from winning the quadruple.
I think he's the best left back in the world at the moment.
He's nothing. He is actually quite underrated. I like that fact. He does his job easily. Makes those dashing, disturbing runs and gets those pullouts in. Well. Absolutely. So you can almost predict that it could be lucky one of those assists. And he gave it to Cristiano Ronaldo yesterday. Contrarios goal is out of this world. It was the corner goal. poetry in motion.
And it was solo.
He was moving with the ball. He decided what he was going to do with the ball.
Exactly.
It was poetry in motion. I almost even did the second one.
Did the same thing as well. But I think that's Lamine Yamal SQ as well.
Exactly. It was a beautiful night of football, by the way. At the big stadium, full sold out capacity stadium, and of course the 40-year-old Rose as usual, the Rolls Royce. I was watching the Portugal's managers post-match, Martinez, former Everton manager, former Belgium manager. I was watching.
Even former Everton manager as well.
I know. I was watching a post-match interview, and he said it's always going to wake up and still maintain the same level of hunger. You know, you won it all. You've been the best player in the world, maybe the best in the last 15, 20 years. You've broken every record. Yesterday was Joshua Kimmich's 100 games for Germany, and then
it was also
we
the
have
captain.
a certain Ronaldo that have doubled that 100 games for the national team, and he's still in a run of his life, in a form of his life. So it's difficult. I think it takes me back to the Liverpool squad that won the Premier League. The push was for the first Premier League in over 30 years. You could see how much they wanted it. There was a season they ended they missed the league by only one point to Manchester City.
Another season 2 points as well.
And in the process of looking for that Premier League, they won the Champions League. But yes, they also wanted the Champions. But you know very well that the push for every Liverpool fan was that first ever Premier League title. And when they won it, it was a bit difficult to still build the hunger for those players. So we saw the likes of Aлек Oxlade-Chamberlain. We saw the likes of Jordan Anderson,
James Milner,
Sadio Mane.
Mane.
All of those guys had to leave because the team suffered the next season and they really struggled. So it's always going to be that difficult. How do you maintain focus when you've actually achieved? And it's not even about football. Even in life, the realities of it, when you have a target and you achieve that target, how do you keep yourself going as an individual? So it's very up. You applied also to these superstars, and then you look at Ronaldo when they were coming out of the dressing room yesterday.
The hunger.
Look at his jump. Look at his hunger. Look at the way he was responding. He was everywhere all over the pitch. He was missing chances, heading the ball over the bar, especially after Germany scored
the first goal.
Yes, no disrespect to all of the other players. Bruno Fernandes was solid. Vitinha came in and yet again established the conversation of him being the best midfielder in the world at the moment.
Yeah, maybe.
He came in with a cameo and he literally grabbed the midfield.
The way he conducted the midfield.
He was getting the ball, spraying those passes, opening spaces up, the tiniest little links, and you just have a feeling that this Portugal team, they're absolutely underrated. And I like the way they've been able to transition the older generation, the Cristiano Ronaldo space.
Yeah, the Nani, all of them.
Very much available, by the way. Then the mid-age,
Bruno
Fernandes.
There's also Ruben Diaz as well.
All of these
Bernardo
guys.
Silva.
Those are the early, the 30s generation.
30s, yeah.
Then they are the younger players.
Yeah.
The 15 years of this world.
The Diogo Costa as well.
Diogo Costa,
Goncalo Inacio as
Nunes,
well.
These guys. So they've been able to build those three generation of players. So
together.
You have the experience, you have Ronaldo. I mean, I'm not sure if you ever want to experience anybody else than the world best maybe
exactly.
the greatest of all
being
times,
on your side.
right? Arguably, it teaches you all of it. You want to also look at the captain of Manchester United.
Yeah,
arguably the best player for Manchester United. Maybe one of the best players in the Premier League last
season. One of the best midfielders in the world.
Midfielder as bad as Man U season went. So it's a blend of a lot, and it's a huge opportunity for the younger players in that Portuguese
to come in
side.
and do their stuff.
See, we said it before the mics came on, and I said, going into the next World Cup, see, whether we like it or not, Portugal are big time favorite for the next World Cup because they have a generation that are also fading out. I'm sure this is probably going to be the last major tournament for Cristiano Ronaldo. Except he's waiting for Ronaldo Jr.
to join him.
Maybe he wants to be, play as very far off. But for club, you never can tell. But it's obvious that Ronaldo still lives the hunger every single day. It looks to me like a player that had not won anything. It looks to me like a player that was brought in from Portugal. That skinny, long-legged boy that was brought in by Ferguson to Manchester United. Every single day, you look at his journey from Man U, that phenomenal season where he won the Ballon d'Or as a Manchester United player. The move to Madrid, breaking all of those records, 5 Champions League, the move to Juventus, the move to Saudi League, and then he's still been consistent with the same level of hunger for the national team.
Okay,
it's crazy.
Let me put you on the spot. Let me put you on the spot, and I know this is going to be trophies for Portugal. Now, Lionel Messi has also won 4 trophies for Argentina. Remember, 2 Copa Americas and the World Cup sandwich in between with the finalissimo. That was the win against Italy. That was after the Euros. In terms of international trophies.
This is unfair, and
because there's a World Cup.
It's tough. Exactly, there's a World Cup, and
but it's an international trophy. A lot of people say an international trophy is an international trophy.
I don't like this place you boxed me into. You know, I don't like being in this place. I think a lot of us should count ourselves lucky that in our generation, we saw Rafael Nadal.
Yeah.
We saw Novak Djokovic. We saw Roger Federer. We saw the Williams sisters. We saw Tiger Woods. We saw Michael Phelps.
As well.
We saw Usain Bolt. We saw Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen as well. You know, in basketball, we saw arguably the greatest NBA player of all time. Glory moments of these superstars. I'm not sure if we can have another generation that would have arrays of superstars almost at the same time across different sports, from football to golf, to swimming, to athletics, to basketball. So I think we should count ourselves lucky. However, you know, there are those moments where a lot of people didn't get to see Pele play. I didn't. A lot of people didn't get to see Maradona play. I didn't.
A lot of people didn't get to see Franz Beckenbauer.
Yeah, I didn't as well. But again, you look at how we've been lucky with someone like Zinedine Zidane, for instance. As young as he was, we understood that this is a superstar. And maybe the greatest Champions League goal of all time against Bayer Leverkusen, or the 2 goals at the final of the World Cup in France 98 against Brazil. You know, so those are moments that you sit back and say, in my generation, I saw this level of greatness. But when you look at this greatness that comes with unmatched dominance, it's a different ball game. See, that's the thin line. That's what separates extraordinary and being super extraordinary. So all of these names we mentioned, they are all extraordinary. But there's these super extraordinary players. You look at Usain Bolt. See, let me bust a bubble. In the entire Usain Bolt career, and I'll tell you that he probably would go down as the greatest athlete of all time.
I agree with you.
In his entire career, all of the things he won, all of those
breaking records,
all of those things, he didn't run up to 3 minutes combined.
Exactly. Is that fast?
Because there was 9 seconds.
Yes, is that fast?
400 meters, 100 meters.
Yeah, exactly.
They were no marathon. They were no 5,000 meters. They were not 10,000 meters. Usain Bolt combined did not run 5 minutes in his entire active career.
Because they were more of 100 meters.
9.1 entire life. I'm saying this today. I'm not God. I'm not Nostradamus. I can't see into the future. But there can never be a swimmer as great as Phelps.
Michael Phelps.
Nobody comes close. There probably will never be a gymnast as good as Simon Biles. Nobody will probably come close to that. So it's difficult. But when you look at football,
it's different.
You look at the evolution of football. You look at how these players have emerged and they've held it down for so many years
consistently.
Do you know how much work Luka Modric had to do
to win the Ballon d'Or back in 2018?
It was so difficult to place Lewandowski. They had to create a category for him.
Striker award, Angel.
They had to create a category for Lewandowski. That's how much these guys have dominated the scene for the past 15 years. I remember very well the under-20 World Cup when Nigeria played Argentina in the final under Samson Sasa, John Obi Mike, Taiwo, Chinedu Ogbuke, you know, all of these guys, Adeleye and their set, Van Sekin, all of those sets. That was a glorious moment. That was a golden generation of young players that went on to take over. I mean, you look at the top 3 players. There was Taiwo, Mikel, and Messi. Taiwo will probably not have the biggest when it comes to top flight, but he played in the Premier League.
The year was also in goal for Spain.
Exactly. He played in the Premier League. I remember the famous Manchester City first Premier League win. It was against Cooper Rangers. And the goal that Aguero scored, his leg was on Taiwo's lap. He made that turn on Taiwo against Cooper Rangers. But then you look at John AFCON, he won 2013 AFCON in South Africa.
Yeah, but he wasn't
the captain, but he was part of the team. Apologies for that. He also played at the Olympics. He played at the under-20 World Cup where he came second. So we
played at the FIFA Confederations Cup as well.
Oh, you look at Lionel Messi. Boy, oh boy.
It's Ballon d'Ors.
So, if you love music, Ronaldo Messi is like Davido Wizkid. So there's a Burna Boy factor. He's just in a world of his own. So Davido works super hard to achieve success. It looks easier for Wizkid, right? So Ronaldo works so hard to achieve success. Hard. Maybe Ronaldo is Davido.
Messi is Wizkid.
You know when they say Messi was born with football on his feet. So that means he doesn't need to do so much to do everything.
There is the talent.
So it's almost like it's almost like he knows the right measurement. Like I can take 2 steps and mesmerize 5 players. People ask like, how does he
get to do
how does he
things?
Replicate Maradona? How
The hand
does
of
he replicate
God.
Pele?
Or
How does he do
Zidane?
all of these things? So you look at that space. So if you're a lover of music and you think, oh, Davido is my favorite, maybe you can equate Davido's.
Yeah.
The World Cup is the greatest. You can't argue it.
But a trophy is a trophy.
This is the question you asked.
A trophy is a
all of the
trophy.
narrative I've been building is to answer this question.
Yeah,
so
a
that
trophy is a
people will
trophy.
say I'm biased. First off, I've acknowledged the greatness of the
both
two
players.
of them.
Yes.
So whatever conclusion I give on this space, please, is a disclaimer.
Well,
don't think I'm biased.
They will call.
I just decided to build that narrative for you. A certain Lionel Messi, at some point, had to get injected by Barcelona to stimulate his growth. Because he had some, I think, bone infection that means I can't grow taller
beyond a
so
certain
that
stage.
Stimulates him. And from that stage, Messi made life easy for football lovers. You can be a 1,000 Ronaldo fan, but you cannot close your eyes to what Lionel Messi is doing. It's as simple as that. Oh, I'm a Wizkid fan, but I love Davido's music. It's as simple as that.
True.
So you look at Lionel Messi, his time at Barcelona, you knew that no matter what he achieved at Barcelona, he can never be a Spanish legend. He would only be a Barcelona legend. So he so desperately wanted that national team glory.
And Ronaldo won a national team title before Messi.
Yeah. So when the Copa America final came, there was a certain Alexis Sanchez that was in the form of his life. There was a certain Vargas, all of these
Chilean players.
And boy, oh boy.
What is the goalkeeper's name now?
They ran Argentina ragged.
No?
They won the Copa America. Argentina qualified for the final of the World Cup.
They lost it to Germany.
The next Copa America, Chile won it again, defeating the same Argentina in the final. So it felt like Messi was never going as the god, which is the Armando Maradona. The World Cup. That was the moment. That was the only thing they were saying. He never won the World Cup. He never won the World Cup. He never won the World Cup. But you knew so much. It got to a point. It became a Messi World Cup project for the Argentine team.
Exactly. Everybody wanted to win the World Cup for Messi.
They wanted Messi to win the World Cup. Then the moment came in Qatar. Their first match against the lowest ranked team at that World Cup in Saudi Arabia. They lost the first match. So the question started coming up with, can they go on to do that? And they did. Can they go on to do that? And they did it. See, the Qatar World Cup, don't do that. Don't do that. If you watch, maybe there were questionable calls, the quarterfinal, the semi-final, maybe there was those moments, but you knew very well that the Qatar World Cup was one of the finest we've ever seen. The first in the Middle East. And of course, the first for Lionel Messi. So it was almost like they were destined to do it. France came close. If Sᴘᴏʀᴛ had converted that chance, France would have won the World Cup. Easy. There was a certain Kylian Mbappé
that scored a hat-trick
from winning the World Cup, also scoring an hat-trick in the final. Just scoring an hat-trick in the World Cup final and still not winning the trophy. That was how much the World Cup was scripted for Messi. Not by FIFA, but maybe by God,
by Providence,
maybe by destiny, by whatever reason.
By FIFA and Providence.
It was Messi's moment to win the World Cup, and he won it. And you saw how glorious it was. But then there's Ronaldo. I remember when Ferguson brought Ronaldo from Sporting. Long neck. Then man, you were wearing Visa phone V-neck jersey. So when you see Ronaldo in that V-neck jersey, it looks like hunger at the big stage. But boy,
I think Ronaldo looked like Cole Palmer of today.
He looks like Cole Palmer of Manchester City youth team. You know, but you had a feeling that this guy is a superstar. You could feel it in his first games for Man U. And then he started holding moments at that age against Arsenal, against Leeds, against Man City, against Bayern in the Champions League. He was scoring goals that have probably never been scored before. 41-yard free kick against Arsenal. Everybody was expecting him to pass across the ball. Almunia was in goal, and out of nowhere, the ball came in. And then you knew that a star was born. And then he went on to win everything with Manchester United. Winning the World Footballer of the Year, as at that time in modern era, the only English-based player to win it. Maybe apart from the one Sᴘᴏʀᴛ won. Depends on how you explain that one. But at that moment, you knew that it was too big for the Premier League. No disrespect to the Premier League.
Yeah.
It was too big for Manchester United. And Manchester United, as at that time, were the biggest club in England. They had more trophies than Liverpool. And then Man City were just rising through the shadows of their Manchester neighbor. So he knew he had to leave. And then he went to the greatest team in the history of mankind, Real Madrid. And then he made Real Madrid even greater than they've ever been. Do you know how many global stars have played for Real Madrid? Do you know how many stars that played for Madrid? Puskas,
I don't know.
The man they named that award after.
Yeah,
he's a Madrid legend. But Ronaldo came in and he scored more goals than games.
Exactly.
When Ronaldo scored that overhead kick against Juventus, when he was substituted in Turin, the entire stadium, including Juventus fans, gave him a standing ovation. And he said that was the moment where he knew he was going to be loved in Turin. That was the moment he decided that his next club was going to be Juventus.
Exactly.
And he left Madrid.
Well, a lot of people want to join the conversation of Kwame. Let's also give them a chance to before we leave this
thank God you didn't allow me make a conclusion because the computer will have scattered this show.
Conclude.
Pick us, please.
Conclude.
No, I'm not.
036,410 We're also streaming as well on Facebook, as well as on YouTube as well. Just search for Stamina 98.3 FM, and then can also listen to us via website at www.mainlandfm.com. And on Radio Garden as well, just search for Stamina FM, Mainland 98.3 FM. It also gets us there. 36,400. Let's get to pick some calls. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
I agree to you.
Ufoma, please, you just have 1 minute, please.
Yes, let me just go straight to the point. The only thing separating, as Okpayemi have analyzed, so I will follow it and analysis. Yes, I will not argue with him. But the only thing separating the two of them, World Cup, just the World Cup.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, let's also get to pick some more calls. 036,410. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the show. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the show. Oh, we missed that one. Hello, good evening. Welcome.
Hello, good evening.
You're welcome.
My name is Emmanuel, calling from Ogun State.
You're welcome, Emmanuel. You have just 1 minute, please.
I don't know why every time when he's making his analysis, keeps saying Ronaldo is arguably the best player of all time. He is not the best player of all time.
That's why I said arguably.
Do you know the meaning of arguably?
I know, yes, you can agree, but if there's nothing even arguably there. Because it's not, you can never be comparing with Pele. He may score more good than Pele, but how many number of matches has he played? Pele was not lucky to play all these matches, number of matches Ronaldo has played. Ronaldo is not even, you see, how to compare them is, Pele won everything he played for. When I say everything, not every edition, but every competition he took. The same thing with Messi, the same thing with Zinedine Zidane. These are the I will call the greatest player of all times.
Thank you.
So don't walk up.
Thank you so much.
Short, it's not even among them. Don't even compare him at all.
Thank you so much. Let's also get to pick some more calls.
I can tell you 100 players that never qualified for the World Cup.
Let's also get to pick some more calls. 36,410. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Oh, we missed that one. Please try to call us back. Hey, welcome. Good evening to you. Good evening. Very quickly. 1 minute, please. Hello? Oh, please try to call us back. Please try to call us back. 36,410. Good evening. Welcome to the show. 1 minute, please.
Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Baba, how far now? Welcome.
Yeah, good. I'm fine. Fans are just very funny. Okay, good evening.
My guy.
I do. Fans are just very funny. So because Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't won the World Cup now, he shouldn't be in that category. It's just like saying because Ronaldo never won the Champions League, or that he shouldn't even be in the category of one of the greatest, if not the greatest strikers for ever been. It's just funny. What determines the greatest of all time? Like I've said this thing before, there's never a greatest of all time because there's always going to be an argument. There's always going to be an argument. Pele never played the Champions League. Some people will put the Champions League as the
benchmark.
As the benchmark. Thank you. Okay, Ronaldo never won. Ronaldo never won the Champions League. Okay, it was the Europa League that he won with Inter.
Thank
but
you so much.
It doesn't take away from his greatness. So people should just give it a rest.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's also get to read messages as well on WhatsApp. Akáyọ̀dé from Ikoton has texted us. It says, quite funny. Quite funny seeing Okwe speaking with tongue. I'm trying to actually understand that one. Let's also get to pick some more calls. 013-6410. Please turn down the volume of your radio. Good evening to you.
This is from Ogudu. Are you aware that this guy, Tᴏᴜ has a World Cup trophy? But Madini do not have one.
Who?
Did has a World Cup trophy? Madini do not have a World Cup trophy.
They are struggling to hear.
Who has a World Cup
trophy?
Tᴏᴜ. That's tall, lanky Arsenal defender.
Former Arsenal defender, yeah.
The guy get World Cup, but Mandini do not have one. So you want to say Mateka is not better Mandini? George Weah never qualified for the World Cup. Are you aware? And it's the only African player to have the Ballon d'Or.
African Football of the Year.
Cristiano will always remain special. Whether you like him or not, the vote will be divided. Some people like him, some don't like him. That's what it is.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's also get to pick one more call before we also switch our conversation away from that. Good evening. Welcome to the show very quickly. Oh, we missed that one. Okay, let's see if we can just pick this one. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Hello. Okay, let's also leave all of this conversation and switch very quickly to tennis. In the areas of this morning, we had Aryna Sabalenka seeing off Iga Swiatek to also set up a final with Coco Gauff, because just moments ago we had Coco Gauff defeating a French player, talking about Lois Bawson in 2 sets, 6-1, 6-2. So that means on Saturday it's going to be Coco Gauff up against world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka. Let's also leave
world number 1 versus world number
2. Exactly. Let's also leave a lot of that very quickly and talk about the Flamingos. Ahead of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup that is set to be played or decided in Morocco later this year, the Flamingos have been drawn alongside Canada, France, as well as Samoa in Group D. Just ahead of the World Cup. The draws took place yesterday, and it saw the Flamingos being pitted against the 9th of October down to the 8th of November. And in other groups as well for the tournament, Morocco will take on Brazil. Morocco are the host of the tournament in Group A. They will take on Brazil, Italy, and Costa Rica. In Group B, we also have the Netherlands, Mexico, as well as Cameroon in Group C. Just like we said, it's going to be the United States of America, Ecuador, China, and Norway. While Group E also has Spain, Colombia, Korea Republic, as well as Ivory Coast. Let's also leave all of that very quickly and talk about transfers. Yesterday, Chelsea announced the signing of former Ipswich striker Liam Delap, and they've also handed him the number 9 jersey. And for a lot of people, they say that last season was just the only Premier League season for Liam Delap in the English Premier League after Ipswich gained promotion at the end of last season, and he was only able to score I think that's an impressive number of 12 goals. I think we had that conversation as well. I think that was on Tuesday. But the bone of contention here is Chelsea's decision to hand Liam Delap the number 9 jersey. That a lot of well-known the last person to play with that shirt was what's his name now? Aubameyang.
Well, it wasn't a cost. He had a good season with Chelsea.
That was his first season.
Yeah, he had a good
season. The second season was trash.
He had a good season with Chelsea in the first season. There's some product that will not last 1 year, especially if it's a Kobe product. So for someone that had played in France,
exactly for someone that was gotten from Arsenal,
played in France, played with Chelsea, played Arsenal, played Barcelona, played what exactly?
Played Marseille as well.
I think it's a good one. By the way, it's a huge reunion for Chelsea. Remember, Cole Palmer and Delap played. They won the Premier League Cup, even the UEFA Champions Youth Cup with Manchester City. So they are back together as a reunion, and I have a feeling that Delap is just going to be waiting somewhere, getting those steady supplies from Cole Palmer. But I think it's a perfect signing for Chelsea. He's young, energetic. He wants to prove himself right. Yeah. He's already a full-blown England under-21 international. I also want to, look at how young the Chelsea side. The Chelsea were they have on average the youngest team in the Premier League just concluded Premier League season. So he's a good fit. And I don't know why people keep saying 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. There are big signing, big players that never had the Premier League experience and they were record signing. How many years?
Just 12 goals.
There was no record. There was no Premier League taste for Antonio when they spent £100 million from Ajax to bring him on board.
Yeah.
There was so I don't know why people keep saying 1 year experience. The fact that he has 1 year experience means that first off, he doesn't need to acclimatize with the Premier League. Yeah. He's already used to the Premier League.
But he's jumping from a smaller club to a bigger club.
There's no smaller club anywhere. Did they not beat Chelsea last season?
But they did. But they're not a traditional big club.
They not beat Chelsea last season.
They did. See, there are players that play well at smaller clubs, but struggle. When they get a chance to bigger clubs.
4 points of Chelsea last season, a draw and a win.
But Chelsea, that was.
So I don't know what you mean by a small club. If I play you 2 times, you know beat me both times. You don't have the moral justification to say I'm a small club.
So where is Ipswich now?
It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter. Nottingham Forest were relegated at some point.
Yes.
There was a time where they had more history than Chelsea until Chelsea won the first Champions League.
Exactly.
So I don't think that should be a factor here. He's a player that knows the Premier League. He's an English player. He's coming into the space for you to score 12 goals and about, I think, 7 assists in an Ipswich team that struggled the entire season. Try not to relegate. I think it's a perfect signing for Chelsea.
So, Okwemi, now, this effectively ends any Chelsea transfer of any other striker now.
I don't think so. No. I think they will.
No. Andy, the number 9 jersey?
All of their... See, Chelsea would have to check their forward lineup. I don't know if they still want to... If a good offer comes from Nkunku. I think Nkunku should be allowed to leave. Nkunku of Bayern Leverkusen, was it RB Leipzig? RB Leipzig. It's not the Nkunku we are seeing at Chelsea. Maybe the injury.
But we could see some form of renaissance.
There's no anything anywhere. Nkunku is already a full-blown international. He's no longer a talent. He's not a prospect. He's supposed to be a star already at that age, especially with the record he had at RB Leipzig. I think Nkunku should leave.
There's also Nicolas
Jackson. It seems Jackson is staying. He's not going anywhere. He's obviously not going anywhere. Neto is staying. He's not going anywhere.
I think he's going to provide competition for Lamela.
Exactly.
But at this point in time, Chelsea do not need a striker like Lamela with 12 goals.
So what do they need? A Jackson that will score
a Victor Gyökeres.
Gyökeres
that will score over 36 goals in a season. So what you're saying now is Chelsea need a striker that will be scoring 12 goals in the Premier League season.
So because Gyökeres scored 53 goals in Portugal, you are so sure that he will score 20 when it comes to the Premier League?
It didn't just happen last season. We've seen a trend. We've seen a trend.
Have you forgotten that this same Gyökeres played for Cardiff?
But yes, but this is a lamb. In fact, he played for Brighton. This is a lamb that's only played at the top level for only 1 season. But we have seen different players that have made their marks.
Was it not part of the team that promoted Ipswich?
Yeah, it was.
So what is the Championship not better than the Portuguese league?
Nah.
The Championship in England is better than the Portuguese league. Are you whining me?
This is your devil advocate.
Devil's advocate. It's the truth now.
No.
Gyökeres had 53 goals. Where did they rank him in the
European
Golden Boot era?
Second behind Mbappe.
His goals have lesser value. 1 point. Unlike the Premier League, that is 1.8.
But it's the Premier League, Akwemi.
Oh, guys, because they call it the league. Yes. And they call this one the Championship. There are a lot of Championship teams that if they meet some Champions League team, they will beat you like a goat, whether you like it or not. So no disrespect to Victor Gyökeres. I think he's a solid guy. He's definitely going to the Premier League.
So that means Victor Osimhen is not going to Chelsea then. It effectively rules out that transfer. It does.
See, let me say this.
100%.
I don't know where this is coming from, but how they feel Osimhen is going to Saudi Arabia.
The God has spoken.
I don't know where this is coming from. I think he has won the Serie A.
Yeah, he won the Turkish Super League. He won the Turkish Super Cup.
France.
Is that the end for him?
I think he can chop some. Why do you guys keep saying Saudi Arabia is the end? We started this show waxing lyrics about a 40-year-old that's playing in Saudi Arabia. Mitrovic is coming back to the Premier League.
Okwemi, forget that Ronaldo has won literally everything. Everything there is to be won.
Mitrovic is coming back to the Premier League.
Yes, after he has made his money.
He's coming back to the Premier League. That means Osimhen can also go there, chop like 2-3 years.
How old is Mitrovic, Okwemi?
How old is Mitrovic?
Mitrovic is in his 30s.
How old was he when he went to the Saudi League?
He was 29.
Exactly.
So for Victor Osimhen is just 26, 27.
Wait, did they call what's this Brentford Ivan Toney? Did they call him in England?
Yes, he was called.
Tuchel's game.
Yes, he was.
Where is he playing?
As a striker.
Nah, stay there, my friend. Where is he playing? I didn't say which role. Which league is he playing?
It's the Saudi League.
But they call him into the Three Lions.
Because he impressed.
So what do you think Osimhen should not go there and chop money?
without winning a major trophy. So yesterday, no, day before yesterday on Wednesday, no, that was on Tuesday. You were the same person that said the Turkish league cannot be compared to the English Premier League. So
what are we saying?
What it means is that you are effectively ruling out what Osimhen has done.
See this one
because he has not done anything.
This one will just on mic. I want to put me in trouble.
No, because he has not. That was what he said.
I paid this month's salary. you want the employers to start questioning my efficiency.
Because that was what he said.
That was not the context I said.
Oh yeah, I'll give you the context. Give me the context.
Comparison
between the Premier League and the Turkish league.
It was not even a comparison between the Premier League and the Turkish league.
Okay, we're talking about the.
It was a comparison between Osimhen and where his next move to go to and Salah.
Okay.
It was not the Premier League.
Yeah. So why do you now want Osimhen to now go to start the league after winning only the Turkish league and the Scudetto?
I did not say I want him.
When
he
has not won the Champions League.
I did not say I want him to go to the Turkish league.
Okay. But you said something is saying.
It does not mean that's what I want.
Okay.
I can disagree with my instinct. But my instinct is saying that
your instinct
the
is
big money move may be too difficult for him to turn down, especially knowing the fact that he has proven himself in Belgium, in France, in Italy, in Turkey. Osimhen can come out and say, take me to Maltese League. I will shine.
Out of those 4 nations that you said he's proved himself, he only won the league in 2 of those nations.
You know what it means to win the Italian league?
Okay.
You think it's child's play?
So now you don't say do you know what it means to win the Italian league?
Yes,
when you don't say on Tuesday
is the third biggest league in the ranking.
So that is done. That is okay.
England, depending on where you put
so
it.
Is that okay for his career?
Which career is
for Victor Osimhen's career?
Who told you cannot go to Saudi, collect bastard money and still play for the Super Eagles?
Okay, what is the assurance what is the assurance that you go to Saudi Arabia and the European club will want to buy you?
Is the Chinese league better than the Saudi Arabian league?
No.
When was Ojo Ighalo playing?
Years ago. Years ago.
Ojo Ighalo was the highest goal scorer for Nigeria and Egypt AFCON.
Yes.
Ojo Ighalo was playing in China.
Yeah, but
and the Chinese league is not as good as the Saudi league.
No, that was then. The Chinese league was far better than the Saudi Arabian league. Yes, was it not because
the Chinese league is not as good as the Nigerian league.
Okay, the reason why a lot of people are talking about the Saudi professional football league is because Ronaldo moved to Saudi Arabia. It's on Ronaldo's exodus.
How many other players have moved to Saudi Arabia after Ronaldo? That are still playing for their national team. Did you imagine that what's his name? John Duram.
Will
leave Aston Villa. Yeah. The best super sub player.
But he's still playing for Colombia.
He's not playing for Colombia.
Exactly.
Is Ronaldo not playing for Portugal?
But
Mitrovic not playing for his
so what we are seeing now with the Saudi Professional League is what we saw in the past with the Chinese Super League. Okay.
Is Sadio Mane not still playing for Senegal?
Yes.
Is Mitrovic still not playing for his country?
Yes.
Wait now.
Okay.
Is what's his name?
Who's that?
This Brentford striker Ivan Toney.
Yes.
He's not playing for England.
Okay. Okay, so you are forgetting something.
Who says Victor Osimhen can still not play for national team?
You are forgetting something.
Which thing?
Age.
Which age?
How old is Sadio Mane is 33.
How old is Osimhen?
He's 26.
How old is John Duram? How old is Ivan Toney?
Ivan Toney is in his 30s.
Osimhen should go to
Ivan Toney is in his 30s.
You can be a young player and be collecting pension.
Yes. So Osimhen will break. What is the assurance that if Osimhen goes to Saudi Arabia and the European club will buy him?
Baba, I said Mitrovic is coming back to the Premier League. They are buying him from Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
They are calculating how Ronaldo will play this Club World Cup because they want to align him with one club. Baba, the Saudi League had gotten bigger than anybody imagined. Let me not lie to you.
Obviously.
Agbatomi, if I'm Osimhen's brother, maybe some of his boys are listening. They are back to Nigeria. They've enjoyed very well in Turkey. If they are listening right now, I don't know what Osimhen may have shared with them while they were with him. If he wants to stay in Turkey and play Champions League with Gala, it's okay for him. Gala is a big team in Europe, no doubt about that. They've had a lot of superstars play, even Nigerians play in that league. But Baba, if Saudi comes calling for Osimhen, my guy,
maybe Al Hilal.
I'm sure the least money they can offer him will be like 500 to 600,000 euros per week, and it's tax free.
I think we saw the numbers that they don't collect tax. Yeah,
the religion does not allow you to pay tax, so it's tax free. If he goes to Saudi, collect 500,000 pounds, 500,000 euro every week.
But don't you think that is neglecting your transfer because of money?
He said, "Let me tell you something. Every African player, every South American player, their priority is money. Because they are the life and the soul and the body of their family.
Yeah.
My guy.
They are the breadwinners.
Carlos Tevez said when he got signed for Corinthians professional, the Corinthians, he bought his uncles 13 houses. All of his 13 uncles, he bought them houses.
Crazy.
Not to talk of when he moved on loan with Chaka Mascherano to West Ham.
Before moving to Man United.
So every African player, they use football to escape poverty.
Exactly.
Every South American player, they use football to escape poverty. So the priority for any African player is money. Forget passion. But
the numbers for Sᴘᴏʀᴛ now, I don't think Victor Osimhen should be after the money now. It should be after making his career. So okay. One of Osimhen's idols is DJ Drogba. DJ Drogba has won the Champions League. He has won the Premier League numerous number of times with Chelsea. He has also won the Turkish Super League.
We need to change timetable of this show.
So you want to
go and join Flower Girl in the night. You have to leave this spot desk. You'll be joining Flower Girl in the night. You'll be doing matchmaking people on radio. Because this thing I say I don't understand.
Yes,
I don't understand.
So
Osimhen is 26.
So Osimhen will finish his career.
Where?
And he will say, I never won the Champions League.
Wait.
I never won the Europa League.
I can give you 1,000 players in this life. Yes. I never won the Champions League. And you cannot talk about they are not great.
Yeah, it's possible.
I know the Champions League for club football is the standard, but some players will never win it.
Yeah.
George Weah never went to the World Cup. He won the World Footballer of the Year. He never qualified Liberia for the World Cup. Even when he was a player coach, when he was the one sponsoring the team, he never qualified Liberia for the World Cup. But he won the Ballon d'Or. He won the European Footballer of the Year. He won the CAF Player of the Year in the same year, and he never qualified for World Cup. I can tell you many players that will never win Champions League, but you cannot take anything away from their greatness. Osimhen, if Saudi money comes, my guy, collect 2 years in Saudi. Don't let me swear.
Osimhen.
People will.
Osimhen, if you are listening,
will still break transfer and buy Osimhen.
If you are listening, don't take Okwemi's advice. Let's get to pick some calls. 0936410. Good evening, welcome to the show. Very, very quickly, you have just 1 minute. Very, very quickly. Good evening, welcome to the show.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, Agbatami. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, Agbatami, first of all, like you are wrong. Okwemi is right in the sense that you don't really remember what Okwemi said. Now, let me tell you something. Okwemi was saying that World Cup African Footballer of the Year, Ashraf Hakimi, Mohamed Salah, and Osimhen. Now, Okwemi made something. He said that the England Premier League has more value than that of the Turkish League. Now, then I was the one that even called that day. I said something that despite the fact that Victor, that Sporting Lisbon striker, that guy, despite the fact that he scored many goals. Now, at the end of the day, they gave Mbappe European Golden Boot simply because the Portugal League per goal there is 1.5. Now, if Portugal League per goal is 1.5, how about Turkish League? Now, coming down to the Premier League now is 2 points. Now, what Okwemi said, because him if they even hear me,
thank you.
Saudi all for you. PSP, go pack money, come back.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Confidence. Let's also get to pick one more call.
So somebody just tagged me a post that Victor Osimhen officially turns down Saudi club Al-Hilal first offer.
Very
good offer. It was the same offer they made last year. Also, a club from Italy is keen and ready to pay Victor Osimhen whatever he wants in wages. However, Galatasaray are still pushing heavy for his signature. Ridiculous is not a problem, but the key word is first offer. Was the offer they made last year. It's not better than it was last year, so they can make a better offer.
Okay, let's pick some more calls before we leave that. Good evening, welcome to the show. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, hello, good evening. My name is Tony, calling from Ijusha.
You have just 1 minute, please.
Good evening.
My chief.
Agbatami.
Respects, boss.
I been update me on Liverpool transfer. I don't even know this argument you are. You just update me on Liverpool transfer.
So for now, no transfer as it stands. But earlier on in the day, we had Barcelona bid for Luis Diaz, but Liverpool have also rejected the bid for Luis Diaz. And as it stands as well, Florian Wirtz, that's the Liverpool's target. There's still no news about that particular. But don't worry, when there's anything, be rest assured that you get to listen or hear it from here first. Let's also get to pick some more calls in on 36410. Welcome to the show very quickly, Uche.
Hello, Agbatami. Good evening.
Uche Alpha, just 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay, I agree with you, sir.
Maga.
if Osimhen and my brother, I will not support him to go to Saudi Arabia by this time.
God bless you.
You understand? Because he has so many achievements to achieve as the best player in Africa. So he has to win some big trophies. That's what we are going to take to recognize Osimhen. And secondly, do you remember last January, the Saudi Arabia wanted to buy this our guy from Bayer Leverkusen?
That's Boniface.
Yes, and later they did it didn't all happen. So I think the thing also affects the performance because at that time I've not heard from that guy.
Thank you so much, Uche. We appreciate that. Let's also leave it off that very quickly. Later tonight, we'll be having the second semi-final of the UEFA Nations League, and it's going to be between France as well as Spain. And don't also forget as well that it's also a repeat of the both of them's clash, the both nations clashing at last year's UEFA Euros, where Spain won that one 2-1. The first goal was scored by Lamine Yamal. That was a brilliant effort, and then we also had the winner being scored as well by current Barcelona midfielder talking about Dani Olmo. But a lot of things at stake as well in this match. For a lot of people, they said this game might be the determiner of whoever will win the Ballon d'Or by that's going to be 22nd of September later this year. But where exactly do you see this game going to? Big game.
These are the nights you want to get stuck on TV and enjoy some beautiful game of football. You have arguably the best set of players in their respective positions on display tonight. Rafinha, did a whole lot for Barcelona. But so a lot of people had also said that Lamine Yamal is flying because Rafinha is also taking the pressure off him.
Yeah.
But there's not going to be Rafinha tonight. It's Lamine Yamal versus Ousmane Dembele. And it's going to be a matchup. There's also going to be that tiny space of where does Kylian Mbappe rank in that conversation of the Ballon d'Or. A lot of people keep saying Ousmane Dembele because of the champion, obviously. But hey, the European Golden Boot winner cannot be ruled out in the conversation of the Ballon d'Or. First off, the Ballon d'Or is a French award.
Yeah.
Secondly, the Golden Boot winner is a French player, the captain of the French national team. The Ballon d'Or award will be held where?
In France.
In France. A French team in the Champions League won their inaugural Champions League season, being championed by a French player and Ousmane Dembele. So, tick all those boxes and make a decision for yourself.
But you forget as well that France football, those are the organizers of the Ballon d'Or. They've also made an agreement to create the award in together with UEFA. So it's not just France football.
No, I'm not even questioning the credibility of the award. I'm just telling you that tick all of those boxes. This is PSG's year.
Yeah.
It will be difficult for you to assume that because Lamine Yamal scored 9 goals in La Liga the entire season.
I think 12.
12, right? Thank you. You think, and then Barcelona didn't win the Champions League. You think is enough? Ousmane Dembele is the best player in the world in 2025. You can't argue. The numbers are crazy.
Yeah.
And he ended it up with 4 trophies, a quadruple. So it's difficult for you to assume that he will not be at the front runner.
So let's see. Like would this game decide the Ballon d'Or?
No. It's just draw a big line. Why would you even use a game to decide Ballon d'Or?
I think even in Lamine Yamal's comments as well, he made mention of that.
I like what he's doing.
I have the quote. The conversation.
Sentiment. He said, you know what? For the player of the year, I'm going to vote for someone that was good the entire year. That's a shade on Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele picked up form in January. Fact. Yeah. It wasn't not like it was bad before January. He became a different player in January 2025.
Exactly.
So when Lamine Yamal said he would vote for a player that was good the entire season, that was a shade on Ousmane Dembele. But you can't take anything away from Dembele. And he says that if people feel like this is a game, then let's take it up. Apparently, he has limited the Ballon d'Or conversation to himself and Ousmane Dembele. It would be stupid of you to think that Kylian Mbappe is not going to be in the conversation. Because you think Rafinha will not be in the conversation. Or you think Mohamed Salah will not be in the conversation.
The funniest thing is the FIFA Club World Cup will be a huge determinant.
And Barcelona is not playing.
They're not playing. So because Ballon d'Or will be held in September. Exactly. It's just like 3 months after the Club World Cup.
There's nothing you want to do about it. The Club World Cup will be a big role because the top clubs are playing there. Unfortunately, Liverpool is not a top club because they're also not playing there.
Is that not there?
I've not said Arsenal is a top. Why would
Barcelona
you people always rubbish yourself? We'll be mentioning big club, we'll be mentioning Arsenal. Man, you'll be fighting Arsenal. Chelsea will be fighting Arsenal. Liverpool will be fighting. After I've not won the league in 22 years, and you're fighting them. They've never won the Champions League. They've never won the Europa League. And you are comparing. You people will just be rubbishing yourself and you'll be stooping low to Arsenal's level.
Okay.
Don't bring Arsenal into this conversation.
Okay.
The Ballon d'Or is going to be decided by a lot of factors. The Club World Cup is going to be won.
Yeah, individual performances.
The Champions League has already decided.
Yeah.
And Barcelona is not going to be playing in that one. So Lamine Yamal is out of the CWC conversation.
Yeah, minus
as an
one.
advantage.
Yeah.
He didn't win the Champions League. That's also a disadvantage for him. So if you say you
won individual
league,
performances,
it's individual performances. More individual performances will boost your performance. Boost your opportunities.
He got a treble this season.
Ousmane Dembele got a quadruple.
True.
Including the champion, everything Lamine Yamal won, Ousmane Dembele won it. Lamine Yamal did not win the Champions League. Dembele won the Champions League.
And he could even go on to win the Club World Cup.
Exactly. There's also going to be the Super Cup, and you know that one they will build something like goats that stole yam. So there are a lot of indices that are giving Ousmane Dembele better chance going into the Ballon d'Or because the UEFA Super Cup will be played before the Ballon d'Or. The CWC before the Ballon d'Or.
So all of those
will give him more points. Imagine if Ousmane Dembele now guides France to winning the Europa Nations League on Sunday, and then he goes with PSG, and then he has a good tournament at the CWC.
He will definitely win.
What are you saying?
Okay, before we go, this person has sent us a text. This person says, Agwatomi, if Osimhen was your blood brother, would you tell him to prioritize Champions League football over Saudi money? We they wait for you outside. I beg, we can wait for me outside. I beg, go. This show is not live. It is recorded.
As of today, we're in Gombe.
We're in Gombe. I beg, don't wait for me outside, though. All right, guys, that is the end of the package. Thank you so much for joining us on the Thursday edition of Sport Cruise Live on 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time, and we'll be back as well tomorrow, same time, same station by 6 p.m. on 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. And of course, you know that every Thursday as well after Sport Cruise. Up next is Way Back Waves with Ṛiọjà Oppia. And his wife here in the studio. Please go to the mic very quickly, Ṛiọjà, before I leave the studio. Go even to what exactly I'm expecting.
Don't worry, it's Ṛiọjà. Sea market. You know where it's going to talk about that?
Yeah, that's true.
It's Ṛiọjà.
Not Ṛiọjà.
Ṛiọjà.
Okay, it's not Ṛiọjà.
Not Ṛiọjà. Not sea market.
All right, guys. On Way Back Waves, what are we expecting on the show?
Okay, so today is the birthday of two phenomenal legendary artists, musicians, in the presence of Kenny G. He's a legendary saxophonist. Kenny G.
Wow.
And then Brian McKnight. They were born on the 5th of June.
So that means we're having maybe some form of special.
Birthday soiree.
A birthday what?
Soiree.
All right, guys, you've heard from him. Please stick around for classic songs. Don't forget today's Thursdays, and as a tradition here, all the songs you've been listening to were classic songs on the 60s, 70s, the 80s, as well as the 90s. And on Way Back Waves is not going to be an exception. Please stick back and don't go nowhere. This is still 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Until then, my name is Adeton Mabanjo.
Take nothing